Trump disembarks a plane on Sunday morning in New Jersey, not knowing that his plan for a rally in Pennsylvania is going to have fireworks he didn't expect. No one expected it that day per se, but everyone was certainly worried that something like this could happen. Trump travels to a bottling farm with his team to address his supporters in a great big field. Few buildings could be seen. A bird's eye view was available to everyone. A layout of the field is available right here to see. The familiar song, God Bless the USA, has just finished in the background as the crowd is going wild. Suddenly, Thomas Matthew Crooks is seen creeping along a roof with an AR-15 style rifle by keen people in the crowd. Gunman, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks from Bethel Parks, Pennsylvania, readied himself with an AR-style weapon ready to do the unthinkable. He was described as another oddball that was badly bullied in school. It is the only early possible motive presented. Early warning signs aren't there looking back. He had an associate's degree in engineering science, loved to play chess, and was good at coding. If he had previous mental health issues, it was not known. His parents were both licensed care professionals. They most likely would have home therapy methods with Thomas, or he could have learned how to better hide his issues because his parents were therapists. Of course, this last statement is speculatory. He wasn't from a poor family or a poor neighborhood. What would drive a man who recently attained a degree to throw his life away to target a presidential candidate? My personal suspicions can't be verified, not at least at this time. But there is a dubious element of MK Ultra sleeper programming in the evidence, such as sudden change in normal behavior, the chess game, meaning the chessboard, that's MK. The opportunity for therapeutic hypnotism was there. He had a high IQ. The current president had been using the word activate on television recently. The defendant is no longer part of the living after the incident, and he was part of a sportsman's club, a rifle club. And you have always certain requirements to be eligible to be in certain clubs. I don't know what their eligibility requirements were, but it is a club. Again, these details are only personal observations and speculation, but they are compelling. Nevertheless, Matthew is in position. The Secret Service does not pick up on audience cues about the life ender, even as they point at the roof. It all took place inside of 60 seconds, between 6:11 p.m. and 6:12 p.m. 3 shots rang out, then 5, maybe one after that from the men in black, but the shooter went down. I couldn't figure out how many actual shots total were fired, but 8 or 9 at the minimum. The victims were, including the shooter that was executed on site, there were 5. The shooter, Corey Comparatore, who was 50. He was known as a father, a hero, and an avid Trump supporter. The world lost him when he shielded his family with his body from flying bullets. 57-year-old David Dutch and 74-year-old James Copenhaver, both listed in stable condition. And the 5th victim, Donald Trump, gets clipped in the ear by moving his head at the last second from a bullet that was meant for his head. A lucky photographer captures the moment as a bullet flies past Donald's face. It was a Braveheart moment. As Trump is carried away to his spare limousine, he shakes his fist in defiance, screaming at the crowd to fight, blood dripping across his face. He was the picture of bravery in the face of death. a symbol of strength to a nation plagued by weak leadership over the last 4 years, a reminder to us all for what our forefathers bled for, freedom from tyranny. Now, of course, there are conspiracy theories and biblical theories that have been presented, such as a Simpsons episode where Trump is in a casket, the Revelation 13 prophecy about the Antichrist who receives a deadly wound to his head. But here it should be noted that Trump did not receive a deadly wound to his head. He received a wound to his ear, a flesh wound to his ear, not a deadly wound to his head. And then there is uh, the other biblical comparison of when the soldier's ear was cut off by one of Jesus's friends right before he went to the cross. How the soldier's ear was put back on by Jesus, had been cut off, and that comparison has been made to Trump. Now, Trump survived, but the whole situation has garnered raised eyebrows over the performance of the Secret Service connected to any alphabet soup agencies. Their response was slow and confused. They failed to acknowledge clear warnings from the crowd, and they were disorganized throughout getting the president off of the stage. Furthermore, there is absolutely no reason why they shouldn't have spotted Matthew Thomas Crooks on the roof early on without audience assistance. While the numerous debates about Trump continue, most everyone agreed that this would make his campaign even stronger. With only 4 months left until election time, everyone is watching very closely. We're living in very uncertain times, biblical times. Everyone is on edge. At the moment, Trump's walk back towards the Oval Office is ongoing, and every step he makes will go down in history, no matter the outcome.